I'm showing in the front end Dockerization. Okay. Angular app. Front end Angular app Dockerization. So first you need to create the Docker file. As usual, without Docker file for Angular using base image. There are many base image, you can take it. Screen is visible, right? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Using some base image of Node.js. For Angular, you require Node.js, right? To execute. Everything works on the Node.js. So you need to have a Docker file. Now in the Docker file, you require Node.js image. You can take it from the Docker Hub. Otherwise, you will get it, the Docker file content also directly from some online. So I have taken this. This is working for me. So you can see here, the Docker file is there. Make sure this Docker file is there in your phone book root folder. This is my phone book. That contact phone book is there. Here I have created this Docker file. Okay. Now read this entry here. From this node, it can be any version. You can take it. I've taken this from some online. It was there, so I took it. So it will use this base image and working directory. It will make it /app, right? /app is where? And then it is copying this package JSON and these two files in the root folder. Okay, in the root folder. Root is the current folder, right? So copy these two files which we have, correct? These two files in the root folder. And then, as you know, if package JSON is there, you can simply run npm install, all packages gets installed. Yes, everybody remember this command? Hello? npm install, what it does?
Yes, sir.
It installs all the dependencies which are listed in this package. So after copying this, right, into my root folder, we are running, root means application folder. We are running this npm install. Okay. So since this file is already copied here, it will use that and install all the packages under node_module. After that, you are copying all the files from current to the Docker. Okay. Current to the Docker. And then you are running build. This is the command which builds your application. When you give ng-serve, build happens, right? If you don't want to run, you just want to build, you can give this and npm run build. Now with this build, you also have switch here, --, configuration production. Production means for deployment purpose. So for deployment purpose, what it does it, after building, it puts into a special folder that is dist_, see here, dist_ phone book browser. Okay, under this browser, all your files, you can see here, assets are there, which is there in my application. It has built and kept here. Index.html is there. All the script file has been combined into this main dot, some literal is there .js, all the TypeScript code. Okay, in the main JS. That is what you see in the index.html in the browser, only one JS file, right? So all these files after build will get packed up here. This is for production. Okay. From here only installation will happen, right? So after this running build, right, then build task is done. So using Node.js image, build will happen. Okay. And then starting the server. This is for starting the server. So for that, again, we are working on Linux, right? Correct. So you have Angular developer server is there, which we normally use it here. This is from Linux environment. Okay, so it's taking this developer to start this web server. This is a web server. Just like in Angular, you have web server. You have web server nginx in Linux. Okay, so using that image, right? Web server image, two images are used. One is Node.js, okay, for your Angular application, and one for your server to start your application under this server. So we require one web server. Here also you require one web server, right? You run, then only your code will be started. So in the Docker, it will use this Linux-based image, nginx. Okay. Now there are few configurations which are required in this file. Again, that will be in the root folder. nginx conf configuration file is specifically for Linux server. If it is not a Linux server, there will be not requirement of this one. Okay. So this is the default location of your Linux-based web server. So we are copying this file into this Linux image folder. Okay, so this file is copied here. This is the default location under your Linux. Okay, this is optional. It is just for removing any older cache is there. If you want, you can leave it here. It's just a remove command is there. Okay, so Linux command remove. After that, whatever build is there, right? That also you require so that you can start under this server. So server is configured, configuration file is copied here. Then whatever you have built here, right? Whatever you have built here, that will get available under this dist phone book browser. So we are saying that from from builder. Builder means from this step. This is the builder. After building, right? We are saying that copy this file into this Linux web server. Which file? The build file. Build file is where? /app dist phone book browser. This one. Dist phone book app under that browser. Okay. So from here, all the build file, all this build file, compiled file, you can say, will be copied to the server location. This is the server location. Linux web server location. It will copy, and after that, port number 80 is the default port, just like Angular web server works on 4200. Linux web server default port number is 80. Is that okay, everybody? Why 80 is here? Hello.
Okay, sir.
Your Linux web server starts on 4200, right? Hello.
Sir, Angular 4200.
Sorry, Angular. Yes, Angular web server starts on 4200. But Linux nginx web server starts on 80. So we are saying that we want to access this from the Docker. So I have to expose this 80. So 80 will be exposed so that I can access it from my browser outside the Docker. Okay. After that, this is the command for starting the web server. Okay. Simply nginx. Just like you say ng server, right? You give here nginx under Linux web server. Okay. So this Docker file I will share with you. You can take it from that repository only. Okay. You need to just understand how to create this Docker file for your web application. So only one thing you have to change is here you have to specify your application name. My application name is phone book app. I have to give that phone book app here. If your application is something else, you need to give that because accordingly it will create here. Okay, dist funbook app folder after this build step, right? It will automatically create based on this application. So that under that browser, you have to give that. Okay, so here you have to replace your own Angular app. Okay, let me show you in nginx configuration file what is there. It's very simple. You can just copy and paste from here itself. Okay, it is just a server on which port number it is listening. 80 we are exposing, right? So server listens at 80, and this is the root location where we have copied here. All our files we are copied here. So it is saying where is the root location and which is the starting file index.html, which is there here. This one after build, it creates index.html. Okay, and so on. So you don't need to worry about this. Just you can take as it is in this file. Just you have to understand that. Okay, in nginx. So both the files should be under root. Nginx configuration and Docker file both should be in the root folder. You can, if it is not able to create here under root, create it and go to Windows Explorer and copy and paste, cut and paste in the root. Okay. Sometimes when you create it, it's here and there. So no worry, you create it wherever you want, put the entries, and from Windows Explorer, go to that location, cut it from there and paste it in this root folder. So make sure it is there in the root folder, both these files, Docker file and nginx config. Okay, so once your Docker file is ready, then you can go to that location and go for run, build your image. So this is the location. I've already opened it. You can see here, all projects, module, Angular demos, one book app. This is the location for that. Okay, this is the location for that. You can see here, right? One book app. You have to run this command. So Docker file is there. You have to build the image first and run the container. This is the command for building the Docker files, Docker image of your Angular app. So in this, what I've given here, if you see, what is the command? Docker build and image name, target image name. It is user defined name. With this, image name will be created. And where is your Docker file? Docker file is there in the current location. So -f Docker file, you give it and take all the files from current location. This command is okay. I hope everybody understand this. Docker build, use this image name, target image name, file, where is the file? It is there in the same location. Then I'm directly giving this and take all the contents from the current location. This command is okay, everybody? Hello, any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay, so this is going to use a Docker file, download that Node.js and nginx image and create your image into with this name. That will be your Angular Docker image. So it has created, for me, it has created very fast because already I had created. So it is taking from the cache. For you, for the first time, it might take some 5 minutes and so on because it has to build all this, copy all this. Okay. So you can see here it has taken nginx latest and node this image. 2 images it has taken, right, to build this. And finally, it has done all those instructions. You can see, copy this, right? Copy this, remove cache files, copy this package JSON, then npm install. Once packages are installed, copy all the packages from current location to the Docker current location, and then build your Angular app as a production ready. It will go to the dist folder. And then from there, you copy to the Linux server. Okay, from here, you copy to the Linux server. Okay, after this, you have got your image created, PB image. Tag has been already added here, latest. So this is the command which you have to give it. Let me put this command in Notepad. There. Docker build, this one. So need to create Docker file and need to create nginx dot configuration file. These two files have to create. Okay, and then build the Docker image using this command. Okay, this will create this command. If you want, I can put this entry also here for your purpose. Copy this. This will be there in your Docker file. Okay. And this will be there in your config file. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Step 1, step 2, and then step 3. So once image is there, you can run your container. Run your image into container. So for that, what is the command? Let me show you. That is also there. This is the command docker run, name of the container, in which container name you want to run. That is a user defined. And what is the port number? See, I have exposed which port number here? 80, right? Correct? Yes, visible? Hello? Hello? Listening or not?
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, later don't say that I don't know how to dockerize. So we are saying that map this port number. Run docker run image port number. I want to use from my local 4200 to server 80. So from local, you use 4200. It will communicate in the image with this 80, which we have exposed. And image used is this one, EB image. So it will start your container on this port number. So this is the container. It has started. You can go to the Docker, make sure Docker daemon is running. And if I go here, I can see my PB images with tag latest is running here in the container. This is the container which I gave here as a parameter. Name of the container, PB app. Okay, this is the image. Now from local, it is running on 4200 and server port number, which is exposed is 80. So if I click here, I can see my app here. Okay. Image and data is not coming. Why? Because backend is required, right? Correct? Yes. Hello. See, my Angular app is not running. Where it is running now? Container, right? Can you see that? Hello. Okay, so it is taking from there. Now, let me run my backend also. I already have my backend here. One book API, which we already created. I'll start this backend also, and then it will connect. This also we need to Dockerize. Right now, I'm using this backend without Docker. So this is my API, which is used in my phone book. Now let me go here and click contact list. See, it came, right? Contact list. In my table, only 3 records are there. It is not from JSON server 100 records. So home now it is coming. Rest all will work. Okay. Contact list. This is a root guard. Home. Right. Edit and all as usual it will work. Right. So you can see here Angular app is not running in the VS Code. It is running here. All requests are coming here. Okay. Understood, everybody? This is my API. API Swagger is here. It is running on which port number? 5107. This is my API port number. My Angular app has been utilizing that in the app service here. If you can see here, URL is that only 5107 API contact. Everywhere it is utilizing same base URL. This is that only. So my backend is running without Docker right now, and front end is running in Docker, right? Docker container, and it is interacting through that. All this. Okay. So if I stop this Docker, see, I'm stopping this Docker. Control C. Stopped it. Let me delete also. My container is deleted. Now there's no Docker. So if I go here and come here, refresh it, it will not be there. Okay. Because Docker is stopped. So different images, different, because we have our Visual Studio is having Linux. So I used this Linux Docker file with Linux image, Linux web server. Okay. Otherwise, this is common. This is common for all. There's an Angular part, right? Node you can take it from any version. Only server you have to decide. You want Linux server or Angular developer server or some other. Based on that, you have to use like this. Your entry. Okay, that's all. So I will save this. You can refer it if it is uploaded tomorrow. And plus that notepad step, I will share it in the GitLab itself.